What is going on, everybody? Hey, this is your boy JC from JC Sports Talk, and I have my guy, man, White We Run, Denzel Washington. Man, look, this dude got so many
Right.
names. I don't even know what to call him, but the
We've
GOAT.
added more.
You
We've
did
added more.
what?
We've added more.
What?
Yeah, Ding Batman. I'm
Oh,
Ding Batman now.
think.
The Dark Guido. Yeah.
Oh man,
Dark Guido. I'm it, man.
he's
What's happening?
everywhere, all the time.
Yeah.
Yo, I appreciate him coming on. If you don't know who this is Philly.500, man. You know, one of the best, like the best Eagle content creator. It's because of him. A lot of other Eagle content like creators have started their own channels, so definitely gotta pay respect when respect is due to the
I
man
appreciate that.
himself, the legend, Philly.500. How you doing,
Oh,
my brother?
I am great, man. I'm like a little antsy. I'm ready to get this game on with. I'm ready to go. I'm so pumped up about this game, man. I cannot.
Woo!
2 more days to go. You know, 2 more days.
Yes. Yo, Dallas Cow. Oh my God. Yo, I waited from week 3 from last year. I could not wait to this year. Like, I didn't
Right.
even care about the second time we played them. I could
Right.
not wait to the following year when this team was a lot better to face the Dallas Cowboys. But we definitely go get into that. But before we get into that, man, shout out to everybody that's watching. Of course, we got a creeper in the house. We got a, invader. Cole's Cowboys. He's in the house. You know, he's trying to take notes and go tell Jerry Jones. That's what. How old is Jerry Jones? Fully
Jerry
500.
Jones, happy birthday, Jerry Jones. 927 years old today. 928 years old. The guy's getting older by the minute. I think they're having a surprise 929th birthday today. I think that's what they said.
Why is every time you say it, he gets a year older? Like you started 927,
Because
928,
because
930. Like
the older you get, the quicker time speeds up. That's what they say. You know, 930
oh.
years old today. Happy birthday.
Absolutely. Happy birthday to old ass Jerry Jones, Mr.
Yeah.
Burns, from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Happy birthday to him,
Exactly.
but also happy birthday to our own guy. The Philadelphia Eagles had their own guy celebrate their birthday. Man, is it Hassan Reddick?
Was it
I think,
Reddick?
I
I
think
forget
it
who.
was.
I know it was somebody, but I can't remember who it
I
was.
think it was. Wait, no,
It was
no.
Kelsey,
Brian
right?
Dawkins, man. How
Oh,
could I
Brian Dawkins.
disrespect the
Right.
dude? How could I
Yeah.
disrespect Brian Dawkins like that? The legend, the Philadelphia Eagle legend himself. He celebrated
Yeah.
his birthday the same day as Jerry Jones. But it's funny
Yeah.
how I didn't even see the Cowboys social media because I don't follow the Cowboys social
Right.
media. But man, the Eagles social media paid tribute to the GOAT basically on the
Right.
defensive side. I mean, Brian Dawkins, but hey, shout out to him, man, for celebrating his birthday on the same day as Jerry Jones. And we're not even talking about Jerry Jones' birthday.
Right.
But we definitely gonna get into it real quick. The injury report number one. This is today's injury report. Um, pretty much everybody, you know, um, is ready to go. Is ready to go. Full practice. Landon Dickerson was a full practice. The two guys that were limited are not even starters, so I'm not
Right.
worried about them. But everybody else,
Yeah.
Big Lake Jake, his full practice. Mariota full practice. Avante Maddox missed the past couple games. His full practice. How big is this for the Philadelphia Eagles
I.
going into this matchup
Yeah.
being
Well.
as healthy
Yeah.
as they can be?
That's huge. As long as they can play, like if they're hopefully they can play through it and they can perform. I think the Jordan Malata being back, and I also think Avante Maddox back or they may be the two biggest ones in my mind. Um, I do not sweat the Dallas Cowboys receiving core at all. So you bring Avante Maddox back now. I think it's a great sign. Yeah, it's we're looking healthy, man. And if we can get this game, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
oh,
just doing
you went like that. I thought maybe
boo
my
to
mute was.
the Go
Oh,
Cowboys,
oh, yeah,
emoji. Boo
yeah.
Cowboys.
Cole's Cowboy. He knows. Cole's Cowboy. I went on his show. Great guy, right? But I could tell he knows they're losing. He already
And
knows.
he's
He knows
nervous.
it. I can
He
see it in
Oh
his
my
eyes.
God. I
He
got
knows.
receipt, man. I got receipt after receipt after receipt. Game one, no lie. Game one, NFL season Cowboys versus Bucks. He was crying on his stream. He turned off his stream. Third
Right.
quarter. And he
Right.
jumped on my stream. I was streaming Bucks versus Cowboys. I had to calm him down, talk him off the ledge. So
Right.
that's what I'm saying. This Cowboys fans that's all of a sudden bumping up their chest, talking to Almighty, was crying week one. All of a sudden now, they all like this. Oh, we good? No.
I
There's receipts all over the place.
I don't know what they're. I don't know why they're so confident. I got to tell you, I look at that team. I don't think they're as good as they think they are. But we'll
Absolutely
find out.
not. Absolutely not. But as far as the injuries, man, I'm so glad because last year, when for some odd reason, I mean, look, okay. So just talk about this team from this year compared to last year. Last year, Mariota didn't play. Lane Johnson was probably coming off his first start because of the mental health issue that he had.
Right.
Dickerson was moved to right guard.
Right.
Samalu got hurt in that game. Kelsey was, he had a foot injury the whole week he was dealing with.
Yeah.
Reddick wasn't there. Kaiser White wasn't there.
Yeah.
Bradbury wasn't there.
Yeah.
CD Deuce wasn't there. Why do the Cowboy fans think this is the exact same team from last year that they're about to face? Just based on all the live stream that I've seen, the J Tuck, the Cowboy fan talk, the Law Nation. They all think that they're going to do the exact same thing that happened last year to the Eagles this year. Why? Like,
I think it's because the Cowboys live in the past. This is a team that has not won in how long? They a lot of their fan base has never even seen them in an NFC Championship game. I really think they live in the past because it's not just the guys. They keep talking about who we played. Look who they think they played. Like they look at the Cincinnati Bengals, who are not the same team as they were a
absolutely
year
not.
ago, and they
Mm-hmm.
think we just beat the AFC champions. You look at the Rams. The Rams, they were hard. They've looked horrible. They're not the same team as they were last year. These teams aren't the same. An off season changes everything. So they can only look from the past because that's what they're used to. They have to live in the past and not in the present. Because if they live in the present, it's miserable. It's miserable.
It is. It is. And it's a shame. It's like borderline embarrassing. I watched this live stream with, LB and Philly Mike and Philly Talk the podcast,
Mhm.
and they were actually trying to talk this year, currently, but them Cowboys, content creators, man, they kept on going back to last year. And they always
Yeah.
do the five rings in the faces. Five, 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 five. I mean, come on, man. Let's be realistic. This is 2020. This is 2022, man. Last year, Eagles are not the same. I mean, there's no way you think that what happened last year. And guess what? Like, we basically have a brand new quarterback, improved quarterback. I mean, he worked on his flaws throughout the offseason with Tom Brady, the
Right.
GOAT, quarterback coach. And so far, you could tell. So, talk to me about Jalen Hurts so far. What have you seen from Jalen Hurts the first 5 games of the season?
Well, I mean, from like passing perspective, I think his throwing motion is much better. I think his mechanics are much better. I also think that oh, thank you. I also think that he's a lot more accurate with his
Absolutely.
throw. He's way more accurate. I think He's seeing a lot more what the defenses are doing. He understands all that. So uh, I think in all those ways he's better. And then I think you put better players around him.
That's
And I
key.
think
Yeah.
all that is why, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was at that Washington game. I'm gonna tell you now. A couple of those throws, there's no way, you know, if you don't
I know, I know. Gotta let this cat out.
nah,
No,
it's all good. Yo, it's all good.
no,
Hey, the cat could come join the live stream, man. Hey, this is a big
that cat
happy
don't
family
want.
right here.
Come on.
So it's all good. You're like, hey, come get this cat out of here. You know what I mean? It's all
Yeah,
good.
that's what I just told him. Go get this cat.
I know. But look, all right. So I was at the Washington game, man. But man, what a difference having a Devontae Smith in his second year. He worked out in the offseason, built up the muscle, and whatever muscle he had to build up. AJ Brown, those catches, if we did if this was last year, there's no way Devontae Smith made that catch at
Hmm.
Washington. And AJ Brown, we didn't have an AJ Brown last year.
Nope.
So definitely having an AJ Brown and a Devontae Smith in second year. And we are forgetting one thing. Top three tight end in the NFL. Number
Absolutely.
one,
Yeah.
yak yards after
Hmm.
catch is
Yep.
Dallas Goedert, man. Like,
Yep.
boy, how do you feel about this offense as a whole?
I think they're super explosive, and I think they're only going to get better as the season goes. You know, going into the season, one of my predictions was that I think that by the end of the year, I think Devontae Smith will lead the team in catches and
I
receptions,
did
maybe even
too.
receiving yards.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
right now, you know, he had 0 catches that first week
We,
versus Detroit.
yeah.
All of a
Yeah.
sudden, he's tied with AJ Brown. They both have 28 receptions on the year. Both guys have 28 receptions. I mean, that's crazy. He had 10 catches last week. I think Devontae Smith is an absolute stud. I think Goddard's an absolute stud. And I think AJ Brown's a stud. And I think also the great thing I like about both like AJ Brown and Smith is I think they complement each other very well because they're
Absolutely.
both
Yeah.
different kind of wide receivers. I AJ Brown to me is like T.O. and then you have Devonta Smith like Marvin Harrison. That's what it feels like out there, man. And I think they're only going to get better. I do. You know, the only thing that I think they really just got to work on offensively is they got to learn to keep their feet on the gas. You can't take your foot off the gas. I think they got to do a little
Absolutely.
bit
Yeah.
better and be a little more aggressive in the second half. I think that's the coaching. I don't think that's on the player. I think that's the coaching.
Oh, absolutely. That's on the coaching. I mean, week one,
Yeah.
Jonathan Gannon came out and admit,
Yep.
hey, it's my fault. I kind of took my foot off the gas. Every time we think that the players are the blame, it's not. The coaches come out and say, it's my fault. It's my
Yeah.
fault. I'm tired of this, okay? Stop saying it's my fault. If you are a Super Bowl contending team, if you want to be, raising the Lombardi trophy at the end of the year, you can't be saying is my fault. Week five, okay, and maybe week one. Yo, I don't want to hear the exact same thing week two, week three, week four, week five, week six. Enough is enough. It's like Carson Wentz, right? Hey, yo, I gotta play better. I gotta play better. I got sick and tired of him saying that. Get him out of here. Get
Yeah.
him
I
out.
know.
Enough is enough.
And now he's saying it in Washington. It's crazy, man. It really
He
is
is
crazy.
saying it in Washington.
He is.
So what have you seen from Goddard, man? Your Goddard is like balling out right now.
Well,
Is it the fact that Hurts is not like Hurts is gone? He's no longer there. This dude. How high is his ceiling? Have we seen his ceiling yet so far?
No, he hasn't hit his ceiling yet. I've said, listen, back in after the 2019 season, I got a lot of heat for this, but I thought Goddard was ready then to be the number one guy, and I wanted to trade Ertz then, and people were mad at me. They were mad at me because I even suggested it. But I think Goddard is just having the chance to play. I always thought he was as good as he is.
Yeah.
Everything he does not surprise me at all. I think he's much better run after the catch than Ertz was, and I think he's a better blocker. You know, and um, I actually think Goddard could even get more looks his way. There's only so many balls to go around, but he's fantastic, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that Goddard is playing with so much confidence now. Like,
Right,
I mean, he got paid last year, right? He got
he
paid
did.
last year. Zach Ertz is no longer there, so I
Hmm.
mean, it's not like he's fighting for a new contract or anything
Yeah,
like that. This dude is actually going out and balling. My only concern is the key drops. Instead of scoring, 0 points in the
right.
second half, we probably would have a touchdown if Goddard would
He
have
dropped that
catch a
ball.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
that's my only concern.
yeah,
But besides that, I think look, he's a young guy. He's a young guy, a stud. I'm glad
yeah.
that we took him before the Dallas Cowboys took him with the following
Oh, can you
pick.
imagine if they had him? That would be. You know how annoying they would be with Dallas Goddard? Oh my gosh! You
Oh,
look how annoying they are with Schultz and some of the guys they got. Oh my god, they would be so annoying. You know,
absolutely so annoying, yo.
I mean, it's annoying with Parsons. I mean, Parsons is a great player, but
Yeah,
they're
he
sitting there
is.
doing videos about he's Lawrence Taylor. Like, dude, Lawrence Taylor is like top two defensive players ever to play. What are you talking about? So
Absolutely.
crazy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And so, all right, so let's get into this whole. Okay, so where did you see the Eagles? All right, so the first quarter is over with right now, right?
Right,
We are 5-0.
5-0.
And before I go with where I saw the Eagles at, where did you see the Philadelphia Eagles at after 5 games?
In my prediction, I had them 4-1. I had them 4-1. I had them the only loss being to Washington. I thought because it was a division game at home, Washington was at home.
Mhm.
Carson Wentz. It just seemed like to me coming off that Monday night game against Minnesota. You're gonna lose a division game. It always seems like it happens somewhere. I was thinking, all right, maybe that's the spot. So I had him 4-1, and that was the only loss I had at this point going into the Dallas game.
Man, I had them at 4-1 also, but losing to the Cardinals because I knew for a fact
Yeah,
that the whole revenge factor, week one, Deuce Staley, week two, look, even though hey, nobody in Philly really cared, but Jalen Rager somehow thought that he was gonna come back to Philly and take a revenge out on Philly. Okay, all right. I mean, silly me for thinking that was a revenge game. But week
right.
two was Jalen Rager. Week three, you are absolutely correct. Carson Wentz. But I felt like if they lost to Carson Wentz at all, week three or week 10, man, the
Yeah,
fans was going to start questioning, is Jalen
right,
Hurts the guy?
right.
So, but week four, against Doug Peterson, I felt like he's not no Andy Reid. We can't
No,
beat Andy Reid, but we could
no.
beat Doug. But
Right.
week five, I made a video, and man, I probably lost a lot of subscribers making that video. I had the Eagles
Yeah.
losing to the Cardinals because they were down by 14 in week four. Doug Peterson at home came back the first time, by the way, all year. That was the first time they were down by 14 points,
Right.
faced adversity, and then the following week was Dallas week. So I had the Eagles
Yeah.
losing, the Cardinals game. Matter of fact, I told you and Joey Chase that. I'm like, you know, how likely it is for the Eagles to lose to the
Yeah.
Cardinals, especially when
Yeah.
they are bad against mobile quarterbacks. History said they're bad against a mobile quarterback. So I am
Yeah.
losing to the Cardinals, but I got a lot of,
I I'm
flack
not gonna
for
lie. I was going into that after Jacksonville game, going into that Arizona week. I was worried about that game all week. I did videos saying like this is the letdown game, and I'm gonna be honest. I think they did have the letdown. I think it happened.
Absolutely.
They
Shoot,
just
that
pulled it
kick
out.
man, if that
You
kick
know.
wasn't blocked,
Yeah.
it wasn't missed, by the way. It was tipped. and that's how he kind of changed up. It
But
was a tip, ball,
yeah, and
kick.
if he makes that, the good game goes to overtime, and they had all the momentum. But I feel
All the
like that was a
momentum.
letdown. I think they did have the letdown we were talking about last week. They just pulled it out, you know, and that's what good teams do. They found a way to win.
You, absolutely. Any any sport, basketball, baseball, football, it doesn't matter. You're
What's
not
up, Joe?
always gonna dominate these teams. You're not
Yeah,
always gonna dominate this because guess what? They get paid. They play for a paycheck. They grown ass man. They got kids to feed. Wives to buy Gucci purses for. You know what I mean?
right.
So absolutely. So every week, especially the Philadelphia Eagles, we are Super Bowl champs on paper. Off season was fire. AJ Brown, Jordan Davis,
Yeah,
Kaiser White. We have a linebacker that can't even sniff the field right now because we are so
right.
stacked. So,
I know.
of course, I mean, what is your take on N'Kobe Dean not even getting on the field because we are?
Not. I'm not
What
even
is?
concerned about it. A lot of people ask me that all the time. I'm not concerned about it because when you look at how good T.J. Edwards is playing, and then you have Kaiser. I don't see how any rookie could get on the field with the way those guys are playing. T.J.
Yeah,
Edwards is a Pro Bowl
abs-
linebacker right now. He's absolutely
absolutely.
a Pro Bowl linebacker. He's all over the place. So to me, I don't think it's a matter of N'Kobe Dean isn't doing something right. I just think those guys are playing too good. So I'm not worried about it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And underdog champ, perfect time to bring this in. Look, Hassan Reddick has 4.5 sacks, three forced fumbles, two recoveries. I mean, he's only a sack and a half behind the Dallas Cowboy legend, Micah Parsons. Like, how surprised are you that Hassan Reddick is, doing with the things that he's doing right now?
No, I'm not surprised at all. It's exactly exactly what I expected. The one thing I think, if I underestimated anything about Reddick, is is his ability to strip the ball. Like, we have an elite strip sack artist. We haven't had that. I mean, I have to go back to like Trent Cole since we've had a guy
Yeah,
that did
facts.
that
Yeah.
so much. I mean, and I've been saying for years, like, why don't these guys ever go for the ball when they get the quarterback? He actually goes for the ball. Matter of fact, I think he may have a couple more this Sunday night, to be honest with you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He might have a couple more. Did you
Yeah.
see Aaron O'Donnell bend around the corner? The way he bent around that corner on number 73, I
Yeah.
believe is Tyler Smith, the rookie for the Dallas
Yeah.
Cowboys. The way he bent around, hold this hand right here, went around
Right.
and literally, sack, Benanucci. No, my bad. What's his name again? What the guy's Cowboy
Cooper
quarterback name?
Rush.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, Cooper Rush. I mean, Benanucci, Cooper Rush, Rush Hour. It doesn't matter. I mean, they're going down. The quarterback
Cooper
is going
Flush this
down.
week.
Yeah,
Cooper
toilet.
Flush.
Flush
Yeah.
him down the toilet. Flush him
Cooper
down the
Flush.
toilet.
If
Man,
he
but I can't
plays.
wait.
If he plays.
But I
They
think
may
he
they
okay. So do
they may
you?
be pulling something on us.
You know what? I had Jay Tuck on last night, man. Shout out to him, man. He's a good cowboy content creator. He covers multiple sports. But do you think? I asked him this question. Do you think? Hey, we all know Jerry Jones, right? He's the GM, the coach, the
Yeah.
player, the cheerleader. I mean, he's everybody, right? Do you think he has something up his sleeve that? And also, would the NFL fine him for not saying that Dak would be starting if he just throw him in there?
No, he won't. He won't say. They wouldn't find him because they listed Dak as questionable. So that means he's
Yeah,
like
they
got a
did.
50-50 shot to play. I I think that that Jerry Jones would love to do it. The guy's they're 931 years old today. But I don't know that they're going to do it because I mean if he comes back now, this is what I would love. I would love Dak to play and then
I would
stink it
too.
up. All right, if
Absolutely.
he stinks it up, they are going to be calling for his head. They are going to want him going. They half that fan base is already ready to get rid of him over Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush stinks. Why would if I was Dallas and Dak was ready, I'd put him in so fast because he's such a he's a lot better quarterback than Cooper Rush. But these guys are like they think they should trade Dak Prescott now. I think it's crazy.
Yeah, look, if any team knows about quarterback controversy, backup quarterback is the Philadelphia Eagles. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? We had Carson Wentz. This dude was literally the league MVP before he tore his ACL.
right,
Nick Foles came in, had 4 great games, and
right.
we built a statue.
I know,
We built a
right?
statue for the backup quarterback.
Yeah,
So, like, I don't feel
exactly.
sorry for the Cowboys at all. I'm glad that they are going through this quarterback controversy. I could give a crap ass about it. I don't care. Hey, that is on y'all. I want Dak only because I don't want no excuses. I
Right.
do not want no
No, I don't. I
excuses
don't
because
either.
you already know it's built up.
Yeah.
Like, you already
If
know.
But I think if I had to guess, he's probably not playing. But they want to keep us guessing. That would be the strategy. I think Cooper Rush is going to play. Um, but hey, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, I definitely think that Cooper Rush is going to play. I mean, this is Friday after all, and he was still
Yeah.
listed as the starter on Friday.
Right.
But like usually, I mean, hey, this is the time. I mean, I didn't see the Cowboys injury report. Was that a full practice, a full participant? I don't know. I know yesterday he was limited,
Yeah.
just based on the injury report from yesterday for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, this is it right here. From yesterday, I see that Dak was, let me see, that person was limited
Yeah.
yesterday. So that's the injury report from yesterday that I have for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm pretty sure he's not a full participant, but look, I mean, if I'm a smart guy, I would not want to throw Dak, even though he did it before last year, right? All offseason, he did not practice, no OTAs, no nothing, and went toe to toe with Tom Brady last
Right.
year. Could have,
Right.
should have, and whatever, won that game, but they lost. But he looked good. So,
Yeah.
do you think if they throw Dak Prescott last minute into the fire this Sunday night, would he look like, the Dak from week 1 last year or week 1 this year?
Probably somewhere in between. I don't think he would be as bad as he was that week one, but I don't think he's got the firepower that he had a year ago. So
Absolutely not.
I think he would be somewhere in between. I think he'd be better than Cooper Rush, though. I still think he would be better than Cooper Rush, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't think he would be Dak of last year.
No, I mean, I completely agree with you because I definitely do not think he will be Dak of last year. I think he'll be more in the middle, but at the same time, look, this is Philly. This is
Right,
Sunday night. 4 weeks without throwing the ball. What, 5 weeks without throwing the ball to an actual, wide receiver in game time
right.
situation, not practice, but in game time situation, would you want? So I understand, this is their toughest opponent so far. I definitely understand holding them to next week against the Lions, maybe because the Lions ain't no joke. That's not an easy win. But hey, that's their plan. So it is what it is. But so now let's get into this upcoming matchup, man. This upcoming matchup, Eagles is 5-0,
Hmm.
Cowboys 4-1. Do you
Yeah.
think that these records are based on the opponent that they played. Eagles play, have a soft schedule. Dallas, the Rams offensive line is not what we thought they were. The Bengals offensive line is
Right.
not what we thought they were. The Giants offensive line is not what we thought they were. I mean, I don't know who thought that their offensive line was going to be good, but some way, somehow, they're 4-1. So, like, do you think the records are more of the person, the teams that they played and the deficiencies, or are these teams actually this juggernaut in the NFC?
Well, I don't think the NFC is that great of a conference this year. I think that's the
Yeah,
first thing, right? I don't think Green Bay is what they were a year ago. I don't think the
absolutely
Rams
not.
are what they were a year
Man,
ago. I don't
Devontae
even think
Adams,
Tampa.
whew,
Right.
yeah,
I think the powers in the AFC. So if these teams would have been playing Buffalo or Kansas City, what would happen? I don't know. But as far as our
yeah,
conference goes, I don't like to take away a win from teams. Like the only reason I ever mention the Cowboys who they've played is only a response because they say it to us all the time. But I think if
absolutely.
4-1 is 4-1, if 4-1 for the Giants is 4-1, 5-0 is 5-0. So I don't like to take it away from teams because it is the NFL and you could be beat any given week. Um,
Yeah,
so I think Dallas deserves credit for what they've done. They lost Dak Prescott and they've held their heads above water. I mean, I was thinking if I'm Dallas fan, I just want them to stay around 500 until Dak comes back. They've done way better than that. Now I don't think the teams that they've played are all that, and I think that there's been issues, but I think people could say that about us. I mean, we played Washington; they're bad. Jacksonville's up and coming, and I think they're scrappier. I think the Eagles have played harder teams though than Dallas has. I will say that.
whoa, what? So, the Vikings is 4-1. We
Four and
handing
one.
them their first loss.
The
The
thing about the
Lions is
Vikings
what one
though,
and
but think about the Vikings. They destroyed Green Bay. I mean, they destroyed them. Everybody was saying we're going to lose. We don't have the fire. They have too much firepower. They have Justin Jefferson, but we shut them down. We shut them all down. You know.
absolutely, absolutely, and yeah. Look, I completely agree with you. I think that we played teams with better offensive line that our
Right.
defensive front had to prove themselves.
Right.
So, with that being said, um, like, how do you think that the Dallas Cowboys defensive line would do against the Eagles offensive line? Because arguably both teams, this will be their biggest test. I mean,
That.
honest
Yeah.
truth, and we haven't
Yeah.
faced a defensive line like the Dallas Cowboys, and they haven't
Yeah.
faced an offensive line like ours. But also, our offense is way better than any offense they face. Like,
Right.
so far, we rank top 10 in
Yeah.
every category on the offensive side.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, how good is this Dallas Cowboys defense?
I think their defensive line is good. I think they average 4 sacks a game. Uh, they don't blitz a lot, so they get
You
home
don't.
with the guys they have. Now they haven't played a line like us, and that's to me really where the battle's going to be. Because if they if I think look I think they'll get some sacks. I'm sure they'll get pressure. Um, but I think they're going to have a harder time with the Eagles' offensive line. And the other thing, and I think the backbreaker is going to be the mobility of Jalen Hurts. You're going to have a good offensive line, and then the times that you do get to him, he's going to be able to take off. That is a dynamic and element that Dallas has not dealt with this year. They can say Daniel Jones is that, but Daniel Jones is not Jalen Hurts with his feet. I'm sorry. So I think that that's to me that's the key matchup for me in this game. It's the Dallas Cowboys defensive line and the Eagles offensive line. And I think that's really where the big battle is going to be. And I think if the Eagles protect them, Jalen Hurts, I think that yeah, I think they should do pretty good. The other thing is I would run at Micah Parsons. I would run the ball at him.
Absolutely.
Dallas average gives up about 5 yards a carry. So if
5.5.
I
Absolutely.
5.5, wow. So you got to run the ball and you got to just wear them out. Wear them out and then get to the third, fourth quarter. Don't be tired. Don't be tired.
Yeah, absolutely. Like to me, I think you could run on Dallas all day. I mean, uh, Daniel Jones was the leading rusher for the Giants. He ran for 80 yards.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones is not no Jalen Hurts.
No. No.
That weren't those runs weren't designed runs for Daniel Jones. He was just escaping the pocket. Yes,
Exactly.
Michael Parsons did not get no sacks in both divisional games, zero against the Commanders, zero against the Giants. So I'm not
Yep.
really. Look, one guy is easier to stop than a front four. The Philadelphia Eagles, to me, how do you feel about the Eagles front four compared to the Dallas front four? Because the Dallas Cowboy fans, everybody I talked to was like, we're going to stop the Eagles rushing game because we got, the front four. Like, who you got? Michael
They got
Parsons
a.
compared
I
to
mean, they got a decent front four, but they still get killed with the run. And like you said, they haven't played an offensive line that's this good. So now you got to play an offensive line that is probably your biggest challenge. And then on top of that, you've got to deal with a quarterback that's going to get away from you if you come at him. So I think that's going to drive Dallas nuts all game. Is Hurts getting away, and I think it's going to be very frustrating for them. But I think Dallas has a really good front four. I think the Eagles have a really good front four. I think the Eagles could. I think they could use another defensive end. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think they need to upgrade the defensive end off season. But I mean, I think the interior of the Eagles' defensive line is really good. Jordan Davis is getting better and better each week, and I
yes.
like the rotation that they use. Of course, Hassan Reddick coming off the edge. To me, the biggest issue with the Eagles is sometimes they don't coach aggressive enough. That's the biggest problem I have. I think I think the Eagles defense and Dallas defense are pretty close. Where
Yeah.
there's a big difference in this game, especially with no Dak, is the Eagles offense is way better than Dallas's offense. So how is
Oh,
Dallas's
yeah,
offense
absolutely.
going to be able to keep up with the Eagles offense? I don't think they can.
No, absolutely not. I mean, look, the Dallas offense is ranked bottom of almost every category
Yeah,
besides the rushing. They're like in the middle of the pack with like 115, 105, whatever it is. But definitely the Philadelphia Eagles, um, this will be the biggest test. But like you just said, the Dallas Cowboys could be ran through. We stopped Dalvin Cook. We stopped, let me see, but besides Swift. Week one, he ran amok on us. We wasn't ready. I mean, I'm pretty sure every Eagles content creator was pissed off about that. How we
right.
was like a wide open, like a 24/7 hotel. Just come on through.
Yeah,
It's okay. We won't
yeah,
charge you anything. That's how Swift was doing to us week one. But after that, I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles is top 10 in stopping the rush. The Dallas Cowboys is not top 10. They're like 19th
right.
or even lower than that.
Yeah,
So, I mean, the whole thing of them trying to stop the run, it sounds good. It sounds good until you meet a guy like Jalen Hurts,
right.
which you have to be accountable for. The Dallas Cowboys have a lot of bad luck with who? Arizona Cardinals. Why? These
Right.
little quick guy, Kyler Murray, right? And we
Yeah.
finally beat the Cardinals last year at Arizona. Well, last Sunday at Arizona, the first time in 4 years. Tell me when the last time the Cowboys beat the Cardinals. I don't know. So what this is going to be just like the Eagles' first test against a mobile quarterback was last week, and
Uh-huh.
we got through by the skin of our chin. Yeah, I mean the
Yeah.
skin of our teeth.
Yeah.
Now this is going to be the Cowboys' first time seeing a mobile quarterback like Jalen
Right.
Hurts.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I think he's going to cause them all sorts of havoc. What's so frustrating, what I think Cowboy fans don't realize is they look at both games last year and they like to ignore the fact that the Eagles had their third stringers in that whole entire game. the first time the Eagles played Dallas, they didn't have an identity. They weren't running the ball. They really were feeling themselves out. So Dallas really hasn't gotten to play us since we've kind of figured
Absolutely.
out who we are, and that's what's going to be interesting to me. Um, I personally think Dallas is walking into a buzzsaw Sunday night. I think it's I think the Eagles come out and they're going to be fired on all cylinders. They're going to be pumped up, and I think it's going to take Dallas a while to realize what just hit them. That's the honest truth. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, I like it. So, wait. So with that being said, you know, the Dallas was coming in as the underdog with the, oh my God, we are underdogs, this and that. But something happened, yesterday. Oh, JP.
Yeah.
JP came out and said what he said. Jason Peters on the Cowboys Eagle rivalry. Dislike between the fan base. Okay, that's cool. I just know the Philly fans are a effing idiot. That right there to me was the biggest mistake out of his mouth. Although he's trying to clean it up today, but it's too late. The damage is already done, JP. I mean, was this necessary? And did you like? Yes, we know the Dallas are coming in as underdogs, but do you feel like that this is going to be playing on the Philadelphia Eagles, especially the Fletcher Cox, the Hargrave, mine, going against a guy that probably not even going to play, but they're going to take it out on the Cowboys anyway?
Uh, I don't know. I like. See, I didn't take it. I didn't take it like I didn't take it bad. Like my wife calls me an idiot every day, but she still loves me. You know what I mean? So I was like, I
This
think
is
I know what
Philly,
he was.
man. This
I
is
think
Philly,
I
though.
yeah. Oh, I know, and he should get booed for the comments. But I think I know what he was trying to say, and maybe it's because I just like Jason Peters.
Yeah,
But I don't
I
think
like
that's it.
JP.
I think that Demarcus Lawrence comments on Jalen Hurts, I
Yeah,
think that's going to play a lot more in that locker room than anything else. You know, when you tell
absolutely.
another, you're
Yeah,
telling an undefeated team, well, they haven't seen you yet, and I mean, come on, man, that would kind of fire me up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I only punched a couple
absolutely.
holes in the walls when I heard that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, absolutely, man. You haven't seen us yet, but who have the Dallas seen that had a good offensive line? I feel like the Rams, the Bengals, if they had a decent offensive line, that was two easy L's for the Dallas
right,
Cowboys. Easy because there are talking about the Philadelphia Eagles or the Lions put 35 on y'all, but y'all were up 17 nothing on the Bengals, and they kick field goal, kick field
right,
goal, kick field goal. They
yeah,
they literally walked y'all down with the better
right,
offensive line. So I don't understand why the Dallas Cowboy fans think that their defense is just the Bears defense way back where look before I was even born.
right. Yeah,
Like
it's a
why?
'85 Bears. Yeah. Well, you know what? And they don't. They just look at the score and they say, "Oh, well, look at how many points you allowed," but they don't look about what happened in that game. The Eagles we were up like what 24 something at halftime, and we took our foot off the gas.
On
We
who?
started against Detroit. We were up big
Oh
time
yeah.
in the first at first Detroit. We were up big against Minnesota. We were up big against Washington. Like
Yeah,
we have the biggest
absolutely.
issue isn't that we allowed all those points. The bigger issue is why do we take the foot off the gas uh, too early? Because in the NFL we've seen this so many times. If you take your foot off the gas against a team and they get into a rhythm, it becomes very hard. That's just the way
It's
the
too late.
NFL is.
Yeah.
So to me, it wasn't like we allowed too many points. It was situational. You got to look at it situational. That's how I see it.
Yeah. So, what do you think about? Okay, the Eagles had kind of like a bad, I mean, look, some people say the Eagles had a bad defensive performance, but do they
Yeah,
know that Colin Murray actually was the leading quarterback, the best quarterback
yeah,
in the NFL this year to get
yeah,
rid of the ball under 2.5 seconds. If
Yeah.
you watch the all 22, shout out to the Eagles, a Duffy, man, I forgot his name,
Uh-huh.
man. Yo, he
I know.
breaks down the all 22 40-foot Duffy
Trent. Oh,
Eagles.
yeah, McDuffie or
Yeah,
I can't know.
so he literally shows you that the Eagles was getting to Kyler Murray
Yeah,
1.5 seconds, 2
but
seconds,
yeah,
2.5. The ball was gone. So
yeah,
that's the reason why we didn't get 4 or 5 sacks. Is Cooper Rush
yeah.
capable of doing that?
No, no, and he doesn't have the guys that can do that. Here's the thing: my issue with the defense versus Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray gets the ball quick, but why when he's running wide receiver screen, why is your corners 8 yards off of Brown? So all you have to do is throw a 1 yard pass, and you're not going to meet him till you're 4 or 5 yards down the field. That was the
Yeah.
biggest issue, and then you're putting them. Then they're going in third and short. See, I have a theory with Jonathan Gannon. My theory is that if he respects a quarterback too much, it shows in the game. So I think he was so Kyler Murray was going to beat them with his legs that he played guys kind of back, and he allowed all that underneath stuff, and it allowed Kyler Murray when we were up right after the Gardner Johnson interception, like it
Yeah.
allowed him to get into a rhythm. And
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
he shows his quarterbacks, the good quarterbacks, he shows them too much respect, in my opinion. He did it with Mahomes, Herbert. He did it Derek Carr. He
Yeah.
did it with Kyler Murray. I think sometimes you just have to attack, Sometimes you got to bring those corners. And I know they're scared of Hollywood Brown because of his speed, but sometimes you just got to bring guys up and play them at the line. Now, if those corners are present on those receivers, how's he going to get rid of the ball in 2 seconds? He's going to have to hold it a second longer.
But
And
but does
then,
this say more about your defensive front? I mean, does he trust his
no,
defensive front to get there before he gets rid of the ball?
I think it's just he's so scared that even because a guy with Murray's ability is his mobility and Hurts mobility, you can have a great front, they can get pressure, but the guy still can get away. Now, if you're pressing and all that stuff, and then he breaks containment, a lot of times there's a lot of space in between, and that's what he was worried about. He was worried about that, and he's worried about the big play. And I think sometimes he gets too caught up in giving everybody the underneath stuff. But what it does, in my opinion, is it gets Kyler Murray, a guy like that, who may be struggling early on, and allows him to start getting into a rhythm. And
Yeah,
then when a quarterback gets into his rhythm,
absolutely.
it can be a problem. I don't think they're going to show Cooper Rush that much respect at all. You know,
So,
I don't.
so yeah, definitely. Yo, I have two questions for you after this super chat right here. Shout out to Joseph, man. Appreciate you, man. This is
Yeah, shout
going to
out Joseph.
be Hurts breakout game. Fly, Eagles, fly. And I do believe so. I mean, look, Jalen Hurts had no reason to be scared of the Dallas Cowboys. He know he's protected. He know he got weapons outside, inside. Miles Sanders. We definitely gonna get into Miles Sanders, man. Because
Uh-huh.
y'all, Miles Sanders haters, are definitely gonna get into Miles Sanders. But
Yeah,
before we get into that, but all right, so Vic Fangio, right? After this week, the rumors came out. He is
right.
back at the Eagles facility. I mean, how much stock do you put into that and why? I mean, do you feel like that he's actually coaching Jonathan Gannon and say, look, man, do this, do that, do this? Because it seems like after a bad game, he comes in. After a good game, you don't hear nothing from Vic.
Right.
So what's going on with that situation?
I think there's something to it because I think that Gannon's gone after this year.
Absolutely,
He's
me
either
too.
going to get fired or he's going to get hired. So, yeah, I think Vic Fangio. I think the Eagles see Vic Fangio as Jim Johnson. You had Andy
Absolutely.
Reid, a
Oh
young head
yeah.
coach, right? A young head coach in Andy Reid. You had a little older defensive coordinator who was very comfortable there. I think Vic Fangio is the same way. So I think they look at him as a guy who could replace Jonathan Gannon. I also think that I think sometimes Gannon has a hard time getting his front to get pressure. Like a lot of times you'll see they don't run enough stunts and they don't do enough things like that because he doesn't like the blitz. I think Fangio helps him in that regard. That's my theory. You know.
So either way, look, he's going after this year. You're gaining and Vic Fangio. Look, I would love a Vic Fangio, man.
Oh
Like
yeah.
on this, man, he has the personnel. We saw what he
Yep.
did in Denver. He
Yeah.
has the personnel to,
Yeah.
replicate exact same defense from Denver, which were
Absolutely.
top in the league and sacks and turnovers. So I definitely think there's something to it, like you said. So we'll see. But let's get into Miles Sanders real quick before we jump into the breakdown of the Cowboys. So Miles Sanders, he's at least top 5 in rushing. Already got more touchdowns than he had last year with 3.
Yeah.
So will the Philadelphia Eagles sign Miles Sanders to an extension just based on the first 5 games of the season? We know what, like, midway through the trade deadline is what, like,
I
another
think.
3-4 weeks away,
Yeah. I think after the
possibly like
Pittsburgh game.
November.
Yeah. I
So
think
do
after
you
the
see the
Pittsburgh game.
Eagles? So what do you see the Eagles doing with Miles Sanders? Buy? Oh,
I don't think they're going
wow.
to sign him. I like Miles. I think Miles going to have a career year. I said all along I thought Miles would be over 1,200 yards. Um, but I don't think they're going to sign a running back to big money. I think they're going to go and draft one. Um, they got a lot of guys to sign. You got to find a way to keep
They
TJ Edwards.
do.
You got to keep Bradbury one more year. I can't let I cannot let
Kaiser
Bradbury
White,
walk. Kaiser White, maybe unless you want Dean to take over, if he can do
CD
that.
Deuce.
Uh, yeah, I mean, you got a lot of guys that I think you have to sign. So I don't. I think a running back just being the position it is. I think they'll go out and draft one. I don't think they'll sign Miles. I would love to see. I love Miles. I've always been a Miles supporter, but I just don't see them paying him the money.
Damn. Look, I'm a big Miles Sanders fan because you cannot go out in the streets and find a guy that could give you 5 yards of carry. Like you
Right?
just can't go out
Yeah.
there and just find a guy like that. You know what I
But
mean? Because
maybe
his
here's. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. My fault.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say maybe because running backs, they don't make as much money as other positions nowadays. Maybe he won't get the offer he wants, and he'll come back cheap for like a 1 year deal or something like that. I'm hoping Miles signs. See, I believe that you got to, if you can keep a Miles, you do it, because how many other running backs in this league can take a one snap and break it 80 yards, break it 60 yards? There's not many guys that can take it to the house at any point in time. And to me, a guy like that, you gotta keep feeding him, man. So I would love to keep him, but I just don't know how they afford him.
But keep this in mind. Saquon Barkley, he's also going to be a free agent after this year with a 5th-year option because he was a first-round pick. But Miles Sanders, so could they flip-flop or can Miles Sanders go to the Giants? Can Miles Sanders
He
go to the
could.
Giants for cheap and
Yeah.
play the Eagles twice a year for the
Yeah.
next, 5-6 years? Like, how would you feel
Yeah.
about that?
I wouldn't want to see him with the Giants. No, I don't want to see him in the division. Um, but I mean, I don't know that the Giants will sign a running back either. I mean, if Miles is going to have a great year, Barkley's having a great year.
Absolutely.
Maybe they signed Barkley. I don't know. But I mean, look at Dallas. I mean, they gave all that money to fat Zeke, and he
And
shot. He's
Pollard
done.
is the best back
You
in.
know, yeah. And look at Christian McCaffrey. He getting all that money.
Yeah.
They're ready to trade him. So running backs, I think is the one position. Unless you have a Barry Sanders, just somebody that's that special. I don't think you sign him. I think you just draft another guy.
Okay, all right. So shout out to Tia for the $15 super chat.
Yeah.
100% agree. They don't know this team. Absolutely. I
No.
can't wait for Sunday night. They're about to get a rude awakening. And boy, and I will be right here doing my play-by-play with my Batman mask on. So make sure you tune into that. But 500, let me ask you a question. The matchup game. Let's play the matchup game right
Okay.
now. All right. Cowboys defensive line versus Eagles offensive line. Who had the edge?
Eagles offensive line. I'll say, and it's not by a lot though. I think I would say they have. I think they have the advantage. Um, so I would give them a slight advantage.
Okay. So now, okay, the Eagles wide receivers versus the Dallas Cowboys DBs. Who gets the edge?
Eagles wide receivers. That's not even close. That's a slaughter. Yeah, Eagles big time advantage. Yeah, it, Diggs gonna have a rough night. He's gonna try to cover AJ Brown. Good luck with that.
Well, wait. According to J Tuck last
Uh huh.
night, he said that Anthony Brown will be. I,
On
yo,
AJ
I
Brown.
started laughing. I was like, "Ain't no way." He said that it because he man he said that Diggs don't travel like that or whatever he said.
He don't
But
switch
I'm like
sides.
this, yeah, that's a mismatch. Yo,
Well, that's
Anthony
fine.
Brown on
Yeah,
AJ
yeah,
Brown, the battle of the
yeah,
Browns. I take AJ all day.
yeah. Oh yeah. AJ Brown's gonna have a monster game. I that's fine. It's a mismatch. I don't even think Devontae. I think Diggs gonna have problems with Devontae Smith. So it doesn't matter. See, Diggs is a good. He's a decent corner,
Yeah,
but he's a
yeah, yeah.
risk
He's
taker.
good.
He takes way too many chances, and he gives up a lot of yards. So I have no issue with it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so let's go to this. The Eagles offensive line versus the Dallas Cowboys defensive line. Who gets the edge in
Oh, you
that?
mean the Eagles defensive line? We did.
Wait, did I say the
I
offensive line already?
Yeah, yeah. I said the
Okay.
Eagles' offensive line has slight edge over the
Okay, so
defensive
let's
line. Yeah,
flip it. Yeah.
yeah. I think the Eagles' defensive line has an edge. Yeah,
Absolutely. No brainer to me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because look, I've seen what they've done to, the Cowboys offensive line.
yeah,
Tyler Smith to me is not that look, he's not that impressive. I'm
right.
not impressed by him at all.
No,
And good luck if you put JP in or whoever it is. I just feel like that the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line has been getting pressure on the quarterback,
yeah,
just like the Dallas Cowboys, with four-man front.
right.
Hassan Reddick, four and a
Yeah,
half sacks. We already I'm talking about that. Three forced fumbles, two forced fumble recovery. I mean, this dude is on another level. So I don't think
yeah,
that Tyler Smith could go against Hassan Reddick at all.
right.
So definitely I give the edge to the Eagles a defensive line. At the
Yeah.
quarterback position, Eagles or Hurts or Rush.
Oh, it hurts. It's not even close. Not even close. Now, if Dak played, I would give the edge to Dak. To be honest, if I'm keeping it real, but
Yeah,
Dak's not going to
absolutely.
play. Yeah,
Absolutely. So let's go to the linebackers. You got Kaiser White, Hassan Reddick, TJ Edwards. Compared to I think Michael Parsons, sometimes he dropped back, but I'm not really gonna put him in a
they move
linebacker
him. He's
position
everywhere.
exactly. But they got Anthony Barr. They have the Benderesh. Who got the edge on that, the speed wise? Because it's all gonna come down to speed to me. Because you saw how Kaiser White was chasing down Kyler Murray, a spy, using him as a spy
Right.
to spy on Kyler Murray. Who got the edge
Well,
in that?
I'm not a Van Der Esch fan. I think Barr. I think Barr's on the other side of his career. I think if you're going to consider Michael Parsons a linebacker, that's huge because I think he's above everybody else. Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's that good. Um, but overall, depth wise, and more than just one guy, I would say the Eagles linebacking core.
Oh, absolutely. Man, hey, you ain't gotta ask me that. I mean, absolutely.
Right.
I think that the Eagles linebacker core is so much improved from last year
It
when
is.
these two teams, met each other. Like the Week 18 game don't even matter to me because that
Right.
was just
No.
okay. It is what it is. I'm going off of Week 3 from last year. We did not have. We had Eric Wilson, Singer 10, I think his name was. Like I can't remember his name. You know what I
Baby
mean?
arms.
Singer
Baby
10.
arms.
Yeah,
Alex
yeah.
Singleton. Yeah.
Yeah, Shrek Horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had him. We had Steven Nelson as a
Right.
defensive back. I mean, this team is totally different. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, it's not even close to me, but we about to get into the three keys to victory. In your opinion, what is
Okay.
okay? So, if the Dallas Cowboys win this game, what can they do right? Because I know we got some Cowboys fans out there watching, maybe Jerry Jones out there watching. I don't know. But give them some advice. Three keys for the Cowboys to win, and then you're gonna give me three keys for the
All right.
Eagles to win.
So one of my keys is going to be just reversed on either team. But the first thing is Dallas has to keep the Eagles under 20 points. They have to keep the Eagles under 20 points. Number two, they have to be able to run the ball. They have to be able to run the ball against the Eagles because they got to keep that offense off the field. And then number three, I think they've got to get to Jalen Hurts. They've got to be able to sack him. Um, I would say if they're not getting pressure on him, they're done. Those would be my three keys for Dallas.
And
Um,
for and three keys for the
for the for
Eagles.
the Eagles would be score over 20 points. You score over 20 points, you win the game. The game's over. Dallas cannot keep up with the offense. So if I'm not going to say score 20 points, I'll say get up early on Dallas. Put Dallas behind. Also, I think the Eagles have to stop the run because I think that if you stop the run and you force Cooper Rush to have to throw, um, I think he's going to have a hard time. And then obviously the offensive line's got to play really well, uh, and they're going to have to play really good against that defensive line. And I think you got to run at Micah Parsons. I think you got to run at him and try to tire that defense out, and tire him out, bang him around a lot, frustrate him, and those would be my keys to victory.
Yeah, look, I agree. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing. In order for the Dallas Cowboys to win this game, they have to control the line of scrimmage against the Philadelphia Eagles, against
Right,
one of the best defensive line they're about to face this whole season, against a defense that is top 10 and stopping the run. I mean, against a defense that's number one in turnovers, against
yeah,
a defense that's number three in sacks. So you definitely, if you control the line of scrimmage and control that, you have a shot. Number two, Cooper Rush. If we treat Cooper Rush, golly, if we treat
right,
if we treat Cooper Rush like a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Tom
right,
Brady, just playing this soft zone and pick us
right,
apart and dink and dunk all the way down the field, we are going to lose. We cannot show Cooper Rush. I said a Cooper Cup, but Cooper Rush any respect at all. We cannot.
agreed.
We have to treat him like a bottom five quarterback and go
Yep,
after him. We cannot back up and show him any respect at all. And the third thing is this: if we don't control or minimize the damage that Micah Parsons, if we let Micah Parsons run wild on us, get 2-3 sacks, one forced fumble, uh, according to Jay Tuck hot take last night, an interception. You know what I mean? We are going to lose this game. We're going to
right,
lose because he's going to wreck our, the trenches game. So that
yeah,
is my three hot take for them.
yep,
Don't treat, a Cooper Cup like he's famous or anything like that. Cooper
yep,
Rush. I
yep,
mean, is that, but the Eagles, as far as the Philadelphia Eagles, run the damn ball, man. So
right,
last week, Man, I was kind of disappointed. I never want to see our quarterback being the leading rusher, especially coming off Miles Sanders, what, 27 carries,
Yeah,
130 something yards, 2 touchdowns. Why not, keep that hot streak going? Why are you going
yeah,
to give Hurts the ball and say, hey, just do what you do? No, no, no. Run the ball, especially against a defense that is leaky as the Dallas Cowboys defense. Run the ball. Number two, Dallas Goedert, a top 3 tight end in the NFL, yard after catch. He definitely needs the ball in his hands, like, period. And number three, let Jalen Hurts cook. Period.
yeah.
Run, throw, let him do his thing. Don't try to minimize his abilities, because you know why? Because what happened week one? We wasn't ready. Our offensive line
Right.
wasn't ready. Even Justin Kelsey admitted it. He was, if we wasn't ready, and he brought us out. If Micah Parson is coming off the edge, he happened to be Lane Johnson or Mariota or up the middle. Let Hurts do his thing. Don't try to keep him in a backfield like the Statue of Liberty and getting hit after hit. Just let him do his thing. Just let Hurts, trust in Hurts, and just say, hey, go do your thing. We trust you. Get us out of this trouble. So that's my key right there.
I
But
love it.
definitely, so let's get into your score prediction and who
Okay.
wins.
All right. I'm going to give you two score predictions. I'm going to give you one if Dak
Two.
plays by some weird osmosis. Dak plays, and then if he doesn't. So I think the Eagles are going to win this game 24-10 with Cooper Rush. I
24 to 10.
24-10. I think the Eagles are going to jump on them early, and Dallas is really never going to be able to crawl themselves back into it. And if Dak somehow plays, I think it's 24-20. But either way, I got the Eagles scored 24 points. Dallas does have a good defense, so I'll say around 24 points. Um, I think this is going to be like, especially early in the game, I think they're going to be so amped for this game. And I think they're going to jump out on Dallas quick and early, like they've done to a lot of teams. And Dallas falls behind with Cooper Rush. They're going to have a hard time. And I think the Eagles win 24-10.
So let me ask you a question before I go. Special teams return. The Philadelphia Eagles are ranked 31. 31 in returning yards. The Dallas Cowboys are ranked 22. Are you concerned at
Yes.
all?
Yes. That
The
that is my
Eagles
big.
special teams.
Oh, absolutely. That is my biggest fear going into this game. I am so scared. I have to hold my breath every time they punt to Britton Covey. Like I'm scared to death. I think that is an area where the Eagles are really bad, and they got to find a way to get better. And Dallas is pretty good at it. And I hate to see a close game, and we have a turnover or you allow a touchdown. So yeah, Dallas is way better on special teams than us, and it could be a problem. It could. I'm afraid at some point it's going to bite us in the butt.
So, how do you feel about Big Leg Jake?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, I mean, the
Him
kicking game's fun.
practicing, full practicing. Would you let him actually come back this week, or would you let him rest another week, especially with the bye week coming up, and have him ready? The back half of the season, basically.
I I think if he can go, go. If he can play, I trust him. If he can make the kicks, then let him play. If he can't, then don't play him. But yeah, I trust that he's going to be fine.
All right. So look, I really think that the Eagles is going to win this game 27-21. I really feel like this is a divisional game. I mean, divisional game are so unpredictable. You
Yeah,
never know what's going to happen. A block punt, and especially with the Dallas Cowboys. They blocked a couple punts already, this year. So we have to be, worried about that. Them a turnover, an easy 7 points right there. So definitely, I see this score being 27-21, but definitely a defensive turnover for a score. That's where they're gonna get that extra 7 points from. But Cooper Rush, I don't trust he could go toe for toe with the Philadelphia Eagle offense, and match, points for points. So 27 21. I'm going to redeem myself, Eagle Nation, from last week. I'm sorry I picked against y'all. I'm sorry. But hey, matter of fact, 500. Look, I have to ask you this question. What was your Eagles record prediction before the season start? And who were they going to lose to? Because I feel like the bad guy when I said the Eagles going to lose. And I'm like, everybody's coming down at me. I want to know, did you have the Eagles going 17-0?
No, no. I had them 12-5. I had the
Me
Eagles
too.
12-5. I had them losing to Washington. I had them losing to the Colts. I had them losing
Me
to
too.
Green Bay.
Me
Um,
too.
uh, I had one. My early predictions. I had them losing to Houston on Thursday night in an upset. Um, but then I changed that later in the year. I'm trying to remember who the other loss was. It wasn't Dallas. I had a sweep in Dallas. One of the other
Oh,
losses.
sweeping Dallas.
Yeah, I
Wow.
believe we're going to sweep Dallas this year. And then I have a split with the Giants because the last game we're going to sit everybody. We're
Yeah,
not going to need that.
I had that one
Um,
too.
so I'm trying to think. There was one more, but I don't. I think I had originally then you losing to Houston because of the Thursday night game, and road teams usually don't do good on Thursday night. But I changed that. And I think it was actually Arizona. I think eventually it was Arizona, but I can't remember where that extra loss came. But I know I had 12-5.
Yeah, I definitely had the Eagles at 12-5. I did have them losing to Arizona because I felt like that was a trap game for them. I
It
did have
was a
them
trap
losing
game.
to Green Bay, because
Yeah.
of just Aaron Rodgers, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Hey, regardless who's there, it's Aaron Rodgers, right? I did have them before I watched that Thursday night slaughter of a game to like last week, the Colts. I did have them losing
Yeah.
to the Colts, but not no more though. So I might
Yeah.
have to update my standings. But the Colts look horrible. So
Yeah.
I did have them losing to the Giants the last, in January, which
Right.
the whole thing is already wrapped up.
Yeah.
And I did have them splitting with Dallas. So those are my 5 losses for the Philadelphia Eagles. But some people saying, hey, 13-3, okay, great,
Well,
hey, that's
well,
good. Hey, look, right now I could definitely see 13-4. The Colts look sloppy. They look
yeah.
bad. Like the Texans are not like this team that we thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
Trying to take the next step. The Eagles are the better team. So definitely,
Yeah.
but the Green Bay thing, look, that's Aaron Rodgers, man. I still gotta see, even though it's at Philly, I still gotta see the Cowboys. If we beat them this Sunday, they're definitely going, rise up for Christmas Eve. If not, their season is over right then and there. They're
Yeah.
done, so
Right.
definitely. But yeah, I can see this team going 13-4, be number one seed.
Well, I mean, I definitely think they could have a number one seed, but if they beat Dallas or 6-0, right? Then think
Yep,
about this: they come back, they play Pittsburgh at home. They should
yep,
win that game. They should beat Houston. They should beat Washington.
yep,
They should beat Indianapolis. So now we're talking 10-0. We're
yep.
talking 10-0. If you're
Mm.
10-0, you're on pace for a number one seed. 10-0 when they play Green Bay. I think by the time they play Dallas Christmas Eve, that's going to clinch the division. That's going to be a clinching division. That's my prediction. Because I think they're beating Dallas. I think they're going 10-0. I said last week if they beat Arizona, to me Arizona was the scarier game because of the letdown.
See,
Um, and
thank
I
you,
think
thank you, 500. Hey, are
you're
y'all
welcome.
listening out there, Philly fans, man? And y'all were on my back because I picked the Eagles to lose. But it is what it is. I
Yeah,
gotta keep it 100, man. I'm not 17-0 guy. I gotta look at the schedule and look at the situations and
right.
and come up with the best solution. That was an
Yeah, that's all
L,
you could do. That's all you could do. Yeah, that's all you could do. You're not going 17-0, so you got to figure out where the losses are coming from. So we'll see. But I think they're in great shape, man. This game really is going to catapult this team, man. No, nobody can disrespect this team after Sunday.
I I completely agree. with that being said, man, that is the perfect way to end this
Absolutely.
live stream right here. I appreciate everybody that's been in the chat, man. Going an hour and 15 minutes strong. And I appreciate you, man, coming on here. I know you
Of
just got
course.
off of work. You
Yeah.
tired. You've been doing the white rerun moonwalk all day,
All
and the
day.
Denzel Washington photo shoot. Hey, look, I
Yep.
understand, man. I understand. So I
Yeah, you
appreciate
know
you
it.
taking a little bit of time, to
Of
bless me
course.
with your presence, man.
Anytime.
So let
Anytime.
them know
I'm
where
a
they
big
could
fan of
find you
yours, you
at.
know.
All right, oh,
Philly
thank you
500.
very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you.
Big fan. Philly 500. Just type in Philly 500
Right
and you'll
here.
find
His
me.
link is in
Or
the
if
chat.
you don't feel like typing my name in, just type Mark Holmes in. He pretty much puts me in every video he does, so you can see me there too.
Hey, definitely, man. Hey, I seen all y'all in the chat, and I'm pretty sure all y'all are subscribed to him. If you're not, hey, tell your friends, tell your girlfriends, tell your mama that Philly 500 is on fire. Like, he is the GOAT. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that, it seems like that every NFC East or every sports team have their own content creator that they look up to. Law Nation is the Cowboys. Philly 500 is the Philadelphia Eagles. Regardless of
Oh,
what
that's
you
nice.
think, I mean, he's the guy that set the standards for all of us. I'm not ashamed to say, afraid to say, he's the reason why I started YouTube. So it is what it is.
Oh,
But
that's
definitely
nice
go
of you.
check him out. If you happen to not know who he is, now you do. Go check him out. But as always, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Hey, you can find me on JC Sports Talk 20 on Twitter. I'm on there all day. And of course on YouTube, JC Sports Talk. But as always, man, I appreciate y'all. And guess what? Go Birds. Beat the Cowboys.
Oh, birds.